Hello everyone! I wanted to share with you some updates that I plan to do to my Atog list. And first of all, because I still haven't created any deck tech video for Atog, I will just show you very briefly the list that I have for this deck. And then I will also let you know which changes I want to do to the list, which are going to be not too many, but since I'm gathering more experience testing the field with the current metagame, I realized there is room for improvement. So initially we have 4 Atog and 4 Serendip Ifrit as our choice to actually provide aggression to the deck. The core of the deck is obviously Atog, and it's going to not chip too much damage at the beginning, but as soon as it reaches the critical point where sacrificing all the artifacts could mean lethal damage, it's going to put a lot of stress on our opponents. Serendip Ifrit, why? Because it's just the best creature in our usual suspects list, and now you can see the pair of the number 1 and number 2 creatures in the same deck, and I believe that this is one of my favorite decks right now to test and try, because these 2 creatures are so powerful. Obviously, the set of artifacts that we're going to be using to punish the opponent from doing things that are not cool for this deck is 4 Black Vices, 3 Ankh of Mizra's, 2 Winter Orb, and we also have 1 Chaos Orb in order to disrupt our opponents. In addition to these, we have 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Chain Lightning, 2 Psionic Blast, 2 Shatter, which have proven to be very useful, and 2 until now seems to be the right amount. Maybe in the future, depending on your metagame, we could add 3. And then we have the usual Ancestral Recall, Time Twister, Wheel of Fortune, Time Walk, and Splash Black in order to have Mind Twist and Demonic Tutor. So for the mana base, we have 1 Black Lotus, 5 Moxes, and 1 Sol Ring, 4 Volcanic Island that support the 2 main colors of the deck, 4 City of Brass that supports not only blue and red but also black when we need it, and to add more supports to the black color, 2 Badlands. Also 1 Island, and the usual 4 Mizra's Factory, 1 Library of Alexandria, and Strip Mine package. So the changes that I wanted to do are the following. I've realized that Chain Lightning was not as effective. Like lately I've been playing a lot against Jeskai Tempo and also Timur Zoo, and I must admit that the Serendip Ifrits are very complicated to kill with Chain Lightnings, and Serendip Ifrit are present in both of those lists. Also Ernam Genes, practically impossible. I mean, you cannot just target them and kill them with 1 single Chain Lightning. And if you have already watched the video of the killers of the top old school removals, then you will have realized that Chain Lightning is not one of the top. Although it is very good, but it has some inconveniences. Those inconveniences are, let's say, covered by Psionic Blast, which basically can take care of the Serendip Ifrits. It cannot take care of the Ernam Genes, but at least we can include something to kill with the Psionic Blasts if we add them. So in addition to this, I've been playing it for a long time, this deck already, and I've realized once again the same issue as with Jeskai Tempo. It feels very fancy to add an additional color in order to pick 2 really powerful cards, like for example Mind Twist and Demonic Tutor. We did this the same already with the Jeskai Tempo list, but we ended up realizing with Jeskai Tempo that the 3 colors, the access to black was very, very limited, because in case of the Jeskai Tempo deck, we only had the City of Brass as black sources of mana. Here, however, we have 4 Cities of Brass, but in addition to these 2 Badlands and also 1 Mox Jet. The problem with this is that once again, it doesn't happen very often that you draw these cards and you have access to this mana, since most of the stuff that you're doing is blue, red or colorless. The issue here is once again having the package of Time Twister and Wheel of Fortune in the same deck with Mind Twist. It happens very often, maybe because, you know, it's one of those psychological things that when you experience it, you never forget it because it's hurtful, but when it doesn't happen, you don't pay attention to it so much. But it feels very bad when you have in your hand, you have Mind Twist and at the same time Wheel of Fortune, or Mind Twist and at the same time Time Twister. So in order to remove those things, I believe one of my first let's say updates to the deck is going to be replacing the Demonic Tutor and the Mind Twist. We're going to put them away, and this opens up 2 slots. Why did I think that this was going to be something good to do? Because by removing these 2 cards, basically this deck becomes blue and red, or red and blue. And this dramatically changes the necessity of having such a complicated mana base. So for example, this means we don't need anymore the 2 Badlands, we just don't need them anymore. And I'm even able to say that probably 2 extra City of Brass are not necessary. So I would say removing 2 City of Brass, let's recapitulate. Here, there is no necessity to remove the City of Brass, but by opening the slots that these 2 black cards are using, by opening them, we can introduce these cards, which is again Blood Moons, because having a 2-color deck that doesn't worry too much about what's going on with the mana, because it has access to both very easily. The meanest thing we could do with this deck is to basically play Blood Moons. When playing Blood Moons, we are basically deciding to attack the mana base of the opponent, not only disrupting it with Ankh of Mizra's and Winter Orbs, but also limiting the access to the colors that they have. If they cannot play those spells anymore because they don't have the right mana, then the Black Vice is going to be even stronger. So, as you can see, this has plenty of synergy. And now the only other update to do, which is a cascading effect after adding the Blood Moon, is that we definitely don't want to run out of blue sources once that it has resolved. And here we have 4 Volcanic Islands and we have 4 City of Brass, having 1 single basic island as support to cast blue spells once that the Blood Moon has resolved. So since I don't really like this too much, I would like to play more islands. Then I will remove 2 of these City of Brass and I will add a playset, so 4 additional islands. 2 of them because of the City of Brass, 2 of them because of the Badlands. So once that we do this, we have basically 5 islands here. And this should give us enough room to find blue mana under the effect of a Blood Moon. So I couldn't stop the updates without realizing that I've spoken very much about chain lightning and that I'm not so happy having 2. I've been playing Timur Zoo with only 3 of them and it's working perfectly. So what I'm going to do is what I think is upgrading the chain lightning, so removing 1 chain lightning and adding 1 extra psionic blast, because those Serendip Ifrits and Serra Angels, they can be dealt with. It doesn't hurt so much for us to receive the 2 extra damage, and in addition to this, it can also be used to throw at the face of the opponent. So those are the changes that I wanted to do to the Atog list, and I need to test it. So let's see if this is going to be powerful enough. I'm not sure if having 5 islands is exactly what we need. Maybe we need to cut 1 island to have another City of Brass, a 3rd one. We will see how this mana is going to the access to mana is going to be working out. Until then, I think the only thing we can do is just to test it, and that's it. So let me know what you think about these changes. Do you think they actually make sense? Do you think I'm falling into some sort of recursive thought of using Blood Moons in every deck that I can ever imagine? Do you think this is useful or not? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.